Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Red Baron. Thank you very much for joining me. We're going to take a look in Cryptoville here and see what's going on in the neighborhood. We're going to be doing another one of our short, quickie format things called Quick Look, and this is just something we've started doing here, just kind of to keep feeding a little something to the YouTube algorithm. So what we do is this is not the long format where I go through crypto after crypto after crypto after crypto. We just pick a couple, take a look at how things are going, and just kind of watch the signs along the road. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and a few others here. So again, a little housekeeping we want to do here beforehand. If you guys are not, I noticed we've had an awful lot of subscribers on YouTube. You guys have not transitioned over to our free Discord. We'd love to have you do that. You can do that at the unfairadvantage.chat. What you'll find is you'll find an invitation to our free Discord. Just simply click that. You'll have an invitation from Red Baron. That's yours truly. Just go to www.theunfairadvantage.chat. CHAT. And what that is that's just a quick link. Just makes it easier so you don't have to remember a bunch of dots and dashes and stuff like that. When you get in there, basically that's just a free area where we have our crypto group. And of course, obviously, there's higher levels that you can attain to if you join our subscription levels and stuff like that. We'd love to have you do that. And to that end, we'd love to have you join. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give you a little bit of a bribe. Today, we've got a 10% off for your first month of any level that you subscribe to. If you want to get into the upper levels of VIP, you can do that at the gold level, which is a gold package, so you get 10% off on your first month if you use our coupon YouTube. All capital letters, no spaces. YOUTUBE. All caps, no spaces. That's your coupon. And if you want to get into gold, you can do that. Save 10% off your first month. Our ultimate one, the one everybody always migrates up to eventually, if you're a big trader, if you've got above $20,000 in assets and you really want to have the most information you possibly can, you might want to consider platinum. Platinum is what we usually do an awful lot of. But if you're a big-time trader, you have $35,000, $40,000, you're moving coins all the time, you might want to consider Platinum Pro, and that's what we're going to be using on today's broadcast. All right, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on with Bitcoin here. It's been a while since I looked at my 6-hour chart. Boy, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Let me break this down for you just a little bit. All right, pardon my spaghetti. So in the last... And this is, again, this is a 6-hour chart. In the last few months or so, last few weeks, few months or so, we've seen a head and shoulders form. And this was the last call that I gave. I said, expect a drop down here. And that's a pretty wicked drop. I mean, to be making a call like that, I said, look, we probably expect about a 38, 39% drop. And lo and behold, that's exactly what we got. Came right down to 32 or 31. Let's see, where are we at here? About 32.7. Just a hair under 33, yeah. And then we're bouncing back up. So we're in a downward channel here, and we're maxing that out. So this right here gave everybody a little cause to kind of giggle at my last call. I said we were still going down. And I was showing on another chart, and they said, well, we broke out. You don't know anything. And keep laughing, because it's going down, guys. Let me show you something here. This has been a long, long time since we've talked about CME gaps. So I always like to talk about something new. I kind of like to keep it fresh and discuss new things because it gets a little monotonous discovering the same thing or talking about the same thing over and over and over again. CME gaps are basically gaps where if you've got a certain price action and all of a sudden it just jumps up, it doesn't progress little by little by little, it just jumps from one level clear up to another level, you get what's called a CME gap. Now historically, I think we've been in the Bitcoin space long enough that I think we can call this a rule, but historically what ends up happening with these CME gaps is the system, if you will, has a obsessive compulsive need to go back and close that gap. What do I mean by that? Let me come over here and I'll explain to you here real quick. So if we've got a candle that goes like this and we just gap up, we've got this gap right here that it's called gapping up is the actual term for that. And what happens is, whatever we do up here, eventually the system finds a need to come down and close that gap. In other words, come back and cross that line that was never crossed before. And it's just an obsessive compulsion with the system. And so for a very long time, kids, very, very long time, I've been telling you that we're expecting 24,000, 16,000, probably 12, maybe even 11,000. And it's not based on my whims. It's not based because honestly, I really don't give a rip about Bitcoin. I don't trade it. I don't do anything with it other than just to look at it as kind of a market maker or a market leader. And I look at it as kind of like sticking your head out to see is the sun up or is the sun down, is the wind blowing or the clouds out, and really it doesn't mean anything to me. I don't interact with it. But when it does this, it signals directions to the rest of the market. And so thereby, with that, we have the understanding that it is still important, even though we don't put our money in it, or I don't put my money in it. So you'll notice that we do have a CME gap right here. I've got it very clearly labeled. I have an alarm on it waiting for it to cross, and that's at 24.8. And we have another one at 17. Let's just call that 18,000. There's lots of other reasons to believe that this will go even lower and stuff like that. Now, just caught a little bit of news in the Platinum Pro room, or I'm sorry, in the Platinum room at the unfairadvantage.chat. Somebody said the government had seized that Mt. Gox Bitcoin stash from way back when. Let me explain something. I've dealt with, a lot of you guys know that I'm an investor. I've been doing this for 35 years. I've had my hands on everything, guys. I mean, real estate, stocks, bonds, car dealerships, you name it, I've done it. And so another thing that I do specializes in foreclosures and auctions and stuff like that. I have a great amount of experience with government auctions. Pick them. I've been to all of them. And I will tell you that one thing the government does not do is it does not hold assets. It sells them, turns them into cash. And so those Bitcoins that have been seized, they're going to end up on the market, guys. And they're going to get liquidated. Now, is the government going to sell it? No, because the government's not in the business. They don't have a guy on the inside that is going to sell those Bitcoins. What they're going to do is they're going to do what they know how to do. They're going to hold a good old-fashioned auction. And those are going to be sold off to a Bitcoin. I mean, it sounds hilarious that they would be auctioning a Bitcoin. I mean, if its value is whatever the value is, 44, you'd think they'd want to be getting 44 for it. This is the government. Don't expect anything to work the way it's supposed to. So it would be the same as if you say you did a drug raid and you happen to get a dealer that had a whole bunch of gold. They would auction off the gold. Of course, obviously, the bidders are expected to bid it up as close to par value as possible, but that's the way the system works, guys. So I'm telling you this story to tell you this is, those are the steps involved in this. Is it's going to go from seizure through bureaucracy, and it's going to take a while to get up the proper chain of command where they're finally ready to get this thing packaged and marketed and stuff like that. Then it's going to be put out, and then all the bidders are going to show up. And they're going to start bidding on it. And what's going to happen is a lot of them are going to realize their profits immediately. In other words, if Bitcoin, I'll just pick a number. If Bitcoin's worth $50,000 at that point in time, and some bidder comes in and wins that lot of Bitcoin for, let's say, maybe $30,000, what do you think he's going to do with it? He's probably going to sell it. And so a lot of this stuff is going to get dumped again and again and again and again. So you're going to see a flood of BTC hitting the market. What do you think that's going to do? Now, I'm not suggesting that is what's going to cause this, because these two incidents are just now coming together, but I find it rather odd that my predictions from months and months and months back always seem to have a current news cycle reason for playing out. Call it what you will. It's kind of spooky, kind of witchy, but it's happened more often than not. It's just the way things are. So that's why I don't trust news cycles. I mean, what you hear and what you see is not necessarily always the same thing, but the net effect is it always comes to pass. So let's get back to Bitcoin and take a look and see what we can expect from the here and the now. So currently we've got a couple of downward patterns here. Let's go ahead and look at this on the macro. And what I'm seeing here is basically we've got a giant M formation. So we'll talk about that here in a second. So we've already played out our head and shoulders. So what we should have had here is we should have had the move from that to that down here. But what we got was what's called a 50% move. Basically, it stopped at about roughly 50% of that move. We see that all the time. So I've come more often than not to just kind of assume 50% is usually the law, not the exception. So when I'm hedging my bets and I'm placing my bets and I'm buying things, I usually look at 50% of a call And if I like the profit margins, I'm headlong into it. It's always great when you can get a call, go from pit to point like that. But if it would have gone no further than half, and you can see it did delay right here. If you look very closely, you can see that it did delay at 50% of that move right there before it dropped. I still would have been probably okay because I still would have been a 20%, 20.5% drop. But again, and that's if it were going in the upper direction, it would have made sense. But I don't do shorting, so I don't buy on the way down. I only buy at the bottom and ride up. All right, so as far as like this M, what about this? This M formation or this double top, we call it an M here at the Unfair Advantage. We don't call it a double top because not necessarily do you always get. See, actually what we've got is we've actually got kind of an incline. So a double top would imply parallel, and that's not often that we see that. But 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. They always pretty much work out the same way. Now, this is going to be an approximation. I'm just going to show you this. I've talked about this many, many times before, how this works. So what we always do is we always look at the pit of the M to basically the pseudo point. So let's just kind of call it right there. So let's just kind of sketch this out a little bit and see what we can find that matches within the grid and see if it's kind of matching where I predicted months and months and months ago. All right, so we'll just use that for right now. All right, so if we move that into the bottom of our M, get rid of all this here. It's going to indeed put us right down here. So basically the bottom of our M. Sorry, let me move that up a little bit. So the bottom of our M is right here. So that's going to put us right down here into the red zone. Again, this is kind of just a rough sketch. We're not being exact and stuff like that. But this is the way the system plays, guys. If you understand TA and you understand how it should work, sometimes it doesn't. But if you have a grid like I use here, featuring our automated intelligence, we're able to look at these things and make far more accurate guesses as to where these things are going. So again, back to the 50% thing that we talked about. 50% puts you right here on a CME gap. So would you be happy buying Bitcoin at 24,500? I think a lot of people would be doing certified cartwheels. So if I were to be a betting man, if I were wanting to buy Bitcoin, which I'm not, if I wanted to buy Bitcoin, I would be setting myself a buy for 24,500 and probably at the very least playing that bounce, because I assure you there will be a bounce. When we come down there and close that gap, there'll be a bounce. There's always a bounce. But I would get in, I would claim my money, and I'd be reloaded and cocked and locked and ready to rock, because it's going to go even lower, guys. I'm telling you right now, every fiber of my being is telling you right now it's going to go down to these sub levels. So if we can hit this CME, you darn toot and bet we're going to hit this one right here at about 18,250 just to be safe. All right, so we'll just kind of keep it at that point here. I'll clean this up later for you guys that are in Platinum Pro, so you don't have to look at all that. And let's take a look at a couple other things. So let me bring over my Rome chart. All right, so Rome, guys that are in the Rome DAO project that are just watching this thing go down and down and down. Oh, it's infuriating. Let me put this on the, let's put it on the 1 hour, see what we can get here. So again, there's your M formation. And again, what happens after an M formation? There's that line from there to there, and there's the drop right there. Just exactly this. There's nothing new under the sun, kids, and this is the way this system works. So yeah, it's just miserable to look at that. Are we at the bottom? No, we're not at the bottom. Unfortunately, we're not at the bottom. Right now, currently, we're basically watching that right there as being floor support, and that's going to put you right about 44, 45, right in that range. I have indicated to you guys that I don't expect this to be the end of the blood, the end of the bloodletting, and that's just based on several things. Again, getting back to our Bitcoin conversation earlier, if Bitcoin's going to go plummeting down to $11,000, $12,000, what do you think Rome's going to do? It's going to be ugly, guys. Ugly, ugly, ugly. I've sold and repositioned last night before last. I have kind of upped my bags a little bit, so I'm going to be kind of a little reticent to be jumping in and out of the Rome market. Currently, I'm hodling, I'm accumulating and stuff like that, kind of like watching my rebases. But one more time, I'm going to get out one more time, because I'm telling you right now, I have a very strong feeling that we're going to be down in the $24 range. Very strong feeling. Don't like it. Now, where do we go after that? I don't know. I don't know, because the problem with this is I'm not able to plug our automated intelligence stuff into this, because this is TradingView, but it's not normal TradingView. I'm not able to use the standard charts that we use over with Platinum Pro, and so I have to kind of use this Gecko terminal, or actually sometimes we use this other one, which is a little bit better. Deck Screener tends to be a little bit better, so I've been kind of tracking it on Deck Screener. Last night's move was really of no surprise. Let me go back and kind of talk about what happened here. So last night's move was very expected as well. So what we had is we had a broadening, expanding wedge. Broadening, descending wedge, sorry. And what happens with those is typically you get a breakout. And so that's exactly what we did. We got a breakout that went up, and she lost steam, and down she went again. So this played the way it was supposed to. Didn't play very strong, and it's not necessarily very surprising given the current market. But right now, it's shaping up. She's shaping up for another drop. Basically, let's go ahead and take this here. Drop this down here. And we should drop to that red line there. At about 53 and some change, we'll say. Currently, she is moving up, so don't expect that call to happen right immediately after you see this video. But judging by what I'm seeing here, unless there's some sort of change in the force here, she looks like she's going to come back down in. And by the way, let me expand that down a little bit. Would in fact put you across, bouncing off the top of that extended trumpet, that extended wedge. So that's very believable. We have double confirmation that would be something to expect. So we want to talk about XRP as well. So now I know a lot of you guys were really looking at this as like, wow, we're got the blast off, we're going to the moon. And like, not necessarily. Right now, basically, this is what I would define this as, and this is just my gut feeling. But I've been right more than I've been wrong. This whole thing ran through the entire market, through Shiba, through XRP. Pick your favorite coin. A lot of the market saw this. The entire market saw this. And can you point at anything in crypto, anything in the world that would be verifiable as to why this would be going on, other than market manipulation, other than just give the guys, throw the people a little bread, just throw them a little something to keep them amused. That's what this is, because there was no monetary change, law passed, whatever. We've still got all that bad news that I've talked about over and over again to still come and play out, to drag this market down. So I want to always make sure you guys in the back of your mind remember what I talked about at the top of this broadcast. Those CME boogeymen, they're looming. They're going to get you. So enjoy your pumps. Take your profits. Take your damn profits. If you're up 20-25%, I don't want to hear any of you guys in the Discord crying because you didn't take profit, because this is what we say. When you're 20-25% up, look and see what's going on. Keep your head screwed on, and if you see the profit, take it, because if the rest of the market has no reason to be pumping up like this, then it's a gift. Take it for what it is. Get in, get out, and get gone. All right. So, but the CME boogeyman, as I said, will drag this market down. So what you're seeing here for levels for XRP right now, for pick your favorite coin, won't be this when that happens. It's going to be a lot lower. And to go back for the guys that have not been on live stream with me here for a while, I'm predicting for XRP, we're looking at 22 to 25 cents. And right now we're looking at 90, so I know a few of you are probably going, yeah, okay, whatever. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. We shall see. There is a very, very solid reason for this. That 22 to 25 cents is very necessary for the remaining bank and financial institutions that have not come on board to see that price again. I've talked about this in past live streams, how the fairness aspect of this. So pretty much all major banks have onboarded at 28 to 25 cents or below. Imagine you're Johnny Come Lately Bank, and you get, the salesman for XRP comes around. He's like, hey, you need to join us, and he's putting the pitch on you. And like, okay, well, I'll buy some. And well, how much is it? Oh, it's $90 or it's 90 cents right now. Well, the other guys paid 22 cents or the other guys paid 25 cents. How good does that make you feel as Johnny come lately banker to have to pay, 3.5x what everybody else did? I mean, bankers let me tell you something. Bankers are some of the most jealous, conniving, whiny, vindictive people you'll ever meet. And this is not my opinion, it's fact. I've dealt with them for years and years and years and years on ultra high levels, and I will tell you that they're very childish. Micro fractions of a penny matter to these guys, as you can imagine that they would. So I can tell you right now, emphatically tell you, that no banker is going to come in and join the XRP family or platform and pay 90 cents. Ain't going to happen. So when the lawsuit, a lot of these guys are sitting by the side. Let me kind of give you a little small scenario here, and then we'll move on. A lot of these bankers that have not signed on with Ripple, they're watching this lawsuit. Their bankers are captain cautious when it comes to stuff like this, and so when they see this lawsuit, I don't want to sign up with these guys. These guys might be felons, and so they're waiting. And when that happens, that lawsuit does get dropped, and it will get dropped or settled or however we do, then those bankers are going to come flooding in. But what do you think the price is going to do? All the investors are saying, well, that means we're going to go to the moon. Not necessarily. Now listen to me very carefully, because take this from somebody who has seen behind the green curtain. I know who the wizard is. I have met the wizard, so to speak. The series of events that's going to happen will unfold like this. The lawsuit will be settled behind closed doors. The powers that be will know. They will put out the word in advance to the bankers, who will silently take their positions. But in order to do that, they're going to FUD the market, where they're going to cause, it's not looking good for this lawsuit, and everybody's going to go, oh, Jesus, and they're going to sell. And the bankers are silently going to buy it all up. And they're going to go, no, this is looking good. It's looking good. Yep, settled. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, and the bankers are already in at 20 to 25 cents. So when you see, it's always darkest before the dawn. You ever heard that before? Never more true than it is when you deal with bankers and investing. Dirty sons of bitches. That's what that's what they are. But that's the way it's going to play, guys. I've seen this happen so many times. Personally seen it happen so many times. So I just want to hip you guys to this. So when I tell you that 20 to 25 cents is going to happen, it's going to happen. I've also told you that we could probably stand a good likelihood of getting in at about 40 to 45 cents before markets close and you can't get in. We've already achieved that. So, when we were up around $2, I was telling you 40 cents was a very possible buy-in, and we've hit that, 40 to 45 cents. All right, so not to belabor this much more, but let's go ahead and take a look at XLM too. So XRP is not a play that a lot of people want to play, because they just, they're kind of wigged out by it. But XLM, it's not moving exactly in tandem. Excuse me, it's not moving exactly in tandem with XRP, but it's kind of the little brother. Kind of does its own thing. There again, there's your M formation. We walked over, we dropped from that distance right there. There it is right there. So we had this turn up, but these calls still loom. I'm not joking about this. We're still looking at this. So if you want to go back, let's go ahead and take the M formation out of there, since I proved my point with that. Let's go back and see what we can make of this. So you'll notice, just by taking a real quick drop of that channel on there, you'll notice a lot of interaction through the middle of the channel. I like that. So we're establishing that this is the top, this is the bottom of the move. So this could curl over and continue right on down here. So using this trajectory, this price range here, right in the 11-cent range, which would not be a bad buy. I'm not suggesting it's the best buy you're going to get, because that's probably here at 7 cents. But if you can buy 11 cent, 10 cent, 9 cent XLM, I think you'll do very, very well. Very, very well in the not too distant future. But from where we're at right now to the point of that channel, you're looking at about 79 days. So where does that put us? So here we are in February, March, April. So around about April, we're probably between now and April, we could see ourselves down in this area. So as I've told you guys, this quarter of the year is not going to be a good quarter. It's just going to be a quarter filled with malaise. You know, there's going to be some superstars. There's going to be some events every once in a while, but generally speaking, the trend is down, just down. Last year, it was predicted that 2022 on the whole wasn't going to be a great year for crypto. Kind of shaping up that way right now, isn't it? So just buy the opportunities when you get it. You know, this too shall pass. All right, I'll do one more quickie here just because I know everybody's always wanting to know about what's going on with this. So, been a while since I looked at this. Now, there's money to be made here. Let me say this. I'll say it. I'm no longer a fan. You guys have been listening to my live streams. I'm no longer a fan because, and I'll be quite straight with you. If I don't like it, I don't like it. There's no credible people left in this space. It's a greater fool theory, guys. You're playing a very dangerous game by playing with this thing. It works and it works. I'm looking at my Discord right now, and one of our members just made it quote unquote easy 10%. Better hang on to it. Better hang on to it. Don't put it back in the casino, because if you do, you're going to wish you didn't. Now, as far as that goes, I'll just show you. So, the gray line means basically low probability. Low probability. What we have is what appears to be a bull flag. And so that would, whoops, excuse me. TradingView is always giving me tools I don't want. So let's scale that up. So, from this dual AI line right here, which is the green, and this is the Fibonacci line and our ISIS AI line. That's a pretty hard stop. When we hit those things, generally we reject on them, we bounce on them, we park on them, we don't move past them. So you guys that understand my system and how this grid works know that this is a very, very do or die spot. So to get past this line really requires an awful lot of oomph. And frankly, I don't think we got it. That's why I made that line gray. However, if we do go above that, again, a 50% move is kind of what I would be thinking. We might wick 15% more. Again, I'm not going to suggest that I'm buying in on it because I'm not, but I do look at 15% profit moves as being worth my time. Not in this particular instance because I don't care to invest my money in this anymore. But from that, after that, once that's done. Well, something's kind of sticking out in the corner of my mind here. Let me show you something a little different here. So I've indicated this several times. You'll notice these channels tend to kind of start to do this. They start to level off. And there's a reason for that. Because basically, you know, they work out of the channel and then they start a new channel. Well, there is another channel that just popped into my side view here. And I'll draw it out for you and show you that we might be maxed out right now. I'll change colors on that so you can differentiate. Yeah. So that candle right there, cross top of there, cross top of there. Yeah. Let's get rid of that one there. All right, so it's entirely possible that now we might be in this formation here, where we might be working in this channel here, where we might be coming back down. So again, I'm leaving this here just to prove my point, just because I'm ornery. But I do believe that we're going to be seeing lower prices. So, you know, if you made any money, great. Don't be inclined to put your money back in the casino. That's how they get you. All right. So that's going to be it for today. I'm just a real quick walk through the market here. I like to do this every single day just to tickle the algorithm. So again, like and subscribe to this video. Share it with your friends. I mean, some of you guys ask me, can I share your video? Heck yes, share my video. That's how I get popular. I like to bring new blood into the system here. Bring new people into the group. Of course, speaking of that, if you guys would like to join us, do join us at theunfairadvantage.chat. And if you'd like to subscribe to these charts that have my calls and my plays every single day, 365 days a year, I'm on the Discord, and I'm mixing it up with you guys, showing you what I think and what I'm estimating for the future, and giving you marks and calls and stuff like that. You can just simply use code YouTube, YOUTUBE, all caps, no gaps. And you get 10% off your first subscription, or your first month's subscription with us. You can do that at FibbyCharts.com. And so until tomorrow, be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.